Tonight on CFTK-TV News, a restaurant worker was attacked in downtown Vancouver. BC is ending a pilot program that's been going on for a few years, and a woman's death has led to various advocates speaking out.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cal Vaslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. The Terrace RCMP have begun promoting the 14th edition of their annual charity hockey game between the police force and the firefighters. The first responders will dust off their skates and take part in the Guns and Hoses game that helps raise money for the Terrace Firefighters 2685 Charitable Society. This year's game will take place on February 6th at the Terrace Sportsplex, and the puck will drop at 6:30 p.m. Tickets to the game cost $5 for kids and $10 for adults, and they'll be sold at the entrance to the arena. The Prince Rupert Port Authority have released a report that detailed how their cargo volume numbers shaped out in 2025. In total, the Port of Prince Rupert handled 26.3 million tons of cargo, which was up by 14% over their 2024 total, as they also went through a historic period of infrastructure investment and development. Progress was also made by the port in terms of their work on major projects like the Ridley Island Energy Export Facility and Can Export. All the information about the cargo volumes and more can be found on the PRPA's website. We look to an attack on a restaurant worker in downtown Vancouver. It appears the suspect exploded in violence even though staff tried to calm him down. CTV's Shannon Patterson reports on how the suspect is no stranger to police and the shocking reason he allegedly punched the employee.
A 23-year-old cook at this Fat Burger on the Granville Strip has serious facial injuries after being punched by a customer on Monday who was angry that staff wouldn't give him free bacon.
Someone was unhappy with their order. The fast food worker was working, tried to de-escalate the situation, even offered to refund it. The customer was still unhappy, walked to the back of the store, to the kitchen, punched him in the face and fled.
You know, what's concerning about this, Shannon, is it actually happening in a business? Like, that's a pretty bold move to go into the kitchen and beat somebody up because you couldn't get free bacon. Like, give me a break.
A Fat Burger co-worker chased the suspect, who was apprehended by Vancouver police nearby.
What do you know about his history?
So we have been aware about him, and we've had interactions, and they have been increasing, and every interaction is very concerning.
24-year-old Jackson Andre Carter has been charged with 1 count of assault causing bodily harm and has been released from custody. At the time of this incident, he was already out on bail in connection with another assault charge.
Last July, Carter allegedly assaulted a security guard at the Coquitlam Center bus loop, punching him multiple times in the face and head. He was arrested in December and charged with assault causing bodily harm and released on bail just 2 days before he allegedly attacked the cook at Fat Burger.
Is it frustrating for police that he was out on bail already?
It is frustrating. These are concerns. A lot of people should be concerned about this. No one should endure violence, especially coming to work, going to work, and at work.
Is it frustrating that he was granted bail again?
These are definitely frustrations that we do have, but it's up to the court system.
To have some poor cook in a restaurant get hammered over something like that is unacceptable, and it sends the wrong message. But I think it also shows that we just need to do more work in downtown Vancouver in particular to make sure that it's a bit safer for our workers.
Vancouver police say tackling downtown street disorder is a top priority.
Especially on Granville Street, the police are well aware and have it documented, and we try redeploying resources to Granville Street to try to ensure that the public is safer.
But Louis says keeping downtown safe is more difficult when suspects facing multiple assault charges are walking the streets.
There has been history in the past, and it's currently repeating. We had a fast food worker who's working and trying to make a living in this city, and he gets assaulted. This is very concerning.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Coming up next, BC's police watchdog is investigating a shooting involving Burnaby RCMP officers. Welcome back. They've been hinting at it for months now, and now they've made it official. The province announced that it's ending the pilot program that has decriminalized possession of illicit drugs for the past 3 years. As Penny Daflos reports, the NDP is coming under fire from both supporters and opponents of the project.
Whether it's on the street or behind closed doors, toxic drugs are killing thousands of British Columbians of all walks of life every year. Since 2023, users haven't had to worry about being arrested for possessing drugs for their own consumption, but that exemption is now ending.
The pilot hasn't delivered the results that we hoped for.
The health minister claims not enough people sought treatment to justify the decriminalization program, while also acknowledging
We don't make public policy in a vacuum, of course, and we want to make the best, most informed, evidence-driven decisions, and we make that in context of public awareness and the perspectives that we have heard loudly and clearly from communities.
Decriminalization didn't hurt anyone. It absolutely did not, and it helped a lot of people. So the idea to not apply again and to stop the program is, like I say, it's political.
harm reduction advocates are disappointed but not surprised, given the EB government has been rolling back decriminalization measures after public safety concerns and street homelessness grew.
This is something that should have happened a long time ago now.
The BC Conservatives are now pressuring policymakers to focus on recovery and consequences.
You absolutely do need to hold people accountable for their actions, and you can do that without stigmatizing people. You can do that without making things worse. But why should everyone in society have to suffer because a few people want to be able to use substances wherever they please?
That approach will face opposition as advocates try to revive decriminalization.
It's gone away for the moment, but that doesn't mean forever.
We will keep adapting and learning and taking bold steps to help turn the tide of this crisis.
It's not a bold move, but the province is following through with the promise to expand Access Central. Now, almost anybody in BC can call a single phone number where staff will personalize a detox and care plan for those ready to end their drug use. Penny Dafflaw, CTV News, Vancouver.
Loved ones and advocates are speaking out after a Vancouver Island woman was found dead in her Saanich home last week. Laura Gover's ex-husband is now charged with murder. CTV's Anna McMillan has more from those who say the systems meant to protect her failed.
A longtime friend says Laura Gover did everything in her power to protect herself.
She had a doorbell camera, she had extra locks, she was taking a lot of extra precautions. And recently, as of 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how exhausted she was from living in this constant heightened state of fear.
The 41-year-old woman was found dead inside her home in Saanich on January 5th. Her ex-husband, Mohammed Bassar, is charged with second-degree murder.
She had a protection order. She had all of the things that seem to be on the checklist of what to do when you are facing intimate partner violence, especially after a separation, and she was still killed.
Gover filed for divorce in November. She had a court order which forbid Bassar from contacting her. Loved ones say she was a respected researcher and business instructor, a friend of many, and a devoted mother of 2. The organization behind a recent vigil for victims of femicide is calling for an inquest.
We want the provisional coroner to conduct an inquiry to see what are the systems that failed her in that process.
The Victoria Women's Transition House Society is echoing the call.
We failed this individual as a community.
She says the courts, police departments, and support agencies are siloed and women fall through the cracks, explaining the gravity of their situations over and over.
There's a lot of us that do this work, and we don't also have an integrated system between us that speaks to one another.
She's calling on the province to increase funding for support services. Meantime, Gover's friends have started a GoFundMe campaign, raising more than $200,000 for her daughters. Bassar is in custody, and the charge against him has not been tested in court. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Saanich.
BC's independent police watchdog has opened up an investigation after Burnaby RCMP officers shot and killed a woman while responding to a call about a person in distress. As CTV's Ben Bilger reports, neighbors say police had also been at the same house earlier in the day.
Stunned neighbors rushed to see what was happening as more than a dozen police cruisers flooded into a North Burnaby neighborhood on Tuesday night.
It's usually very quiet, and but you know, when all of the police officers swarmed in here so rapidly, it was a little bit frightening.
According to Burnaby RCMP, officers responded to this Oxford Street house around 8 p.m. for a report of a woman in distress. Police met the complainant outside and then went to speak to the woman in the house who police allege had weapons. They did not specify what type of weapons. That's when police opened fire, shooting the woman. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
I heard a loud banging noise, very, very loud, very abnormal. I thought someone the car hit in my fence.
Neighbors tell CTV News they also saw police at the same house earlier in the day. BC's independent police watchdog is now investigating the shooting and will try to determine whether Burnaby RCMP officers' use of force was justified in this incident.
The file may be referred to the BC Prosecution Service for consideration of charges, or the IAO may issue a public report or concluding release in the event that the Chief Civilian Director determines that there are no reasonable grounds to believe that any officer committed an offense.
The IAO is asking anyone who may have witnessed what happened or who has video of the incident to contact investigators. The agency says this latest officer-involved shooting is the 12th time it has been called out in just the first 2 weeks of the new year. Ben Milger, CTV News, Burnaby.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, the night for them will be clear with a low of 1 degree, as the upcoming week will alternate between sunny days and mixed condition days, as the high moves from 10 to 5 degrees. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, their night will be clear as well with a low at 0 degrees, as the rest of the week is pretty much all sunny with a mixed sun and cloud day at the end, as the high bounces between 10 and 4 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, tonight expects more clear conditions but with a low of minus 12 degrees, as the next week or so sees lots more sun as with the occasional cloud, and a high shifting from minus 1 to minus 5 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. Highway 16 has bridge construction, bridge maintenance, utility work, road maintenance work, a washout west of Skidegate, construction work planned, electrical maintenance, and the Usk Ferry has been seasonally shut down. Highway 37 has bridge maintenance. Highway 37A is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Isiated and east of Stewart, and also has a travel advisory in effect along with some maintenance. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the View of the Province's highway cams. Still to come, various Canadians have been cutting back on spending so far this year. Welcome back. Hospitality leaders and local businesses gathered in Calgary to slam Alberta's new tax on premium wine. Since it was applied last April, industry reps from BC and Alberta say they've taken a big hit. As Stephanie Thomas reports, small business owners say it's hurting the Buy Canada movement.
About 9 months after Alberta introduced a new tax on wine above a certain price point, retailers and restaurant groups say they are fed up.
It just doesn't make any sense. For our members, it doesn't make any sense. For Alberta consumers, it doesn't make any sense.
The province calls it an ad valorem tax. It's an additional 5 to 15% tax applied to wine depending on the per litre cost of the bottle of wine. Wine Growers British Columbia says small or family-owned wines are unfairly targeted as the majority fall into the highest tax bracket. For Vinroom owner Phoebe Fung, she says it's increased her costs by 20% and she's absorbing it for now.
We've been lucky enough, we're riding it through right now, but I will tell you, this is not sustainable in the long term. We are buying less Canadian products. It's become more expensive, so we now are going towards other countries to buy direct from them.
Some Calgary wine agents say large multinational producers are getting an undeserved boost.
It hasn't affected, these low-end wine product companies. It's all sort of the small business and really the bread and butter of our entire, and the engine of our entire national economy being affected.
We're seeing restaurant orders decline. We're seeing retail orders decline. It is now harder and more expensive to sell Canadian wine in Alberta than it has ever been.
In a statement, the Minister for Red Tape Reduction says Alberta is the most tax-friendly and open and free jurisdiction in Canada for alcohol, including wine.
Minister Nally can spin this the way he wants to, but really this makes no sense, and it is impacting pretty much every single bottle of wine over $11.25.
He says a flat, low% tax applied across all liquor would have been better. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Canadians have kicked off the new year with plans to make big spending cuts. A survey found 2/3 are expected to slash their budgets, with some targeting savings on food. Here's CTV's Genevieve Bushelman on who is making sacrifices and how they're doing it.
This Italian grocery store and sandwich counter is whimsically called Tony Bologna.
So we make small batch every day.
On the menu at this father and son shop, a focus on best quality for the lowest price.
Just like I have families to feed, they have families to feed. So the goal was to make sure that people can feed their family at a low price, but without giving up quality. The pasta, we have it at $1.75 a bag. We make homemade tomato sauces, meat sauce, and rosé, and all the classics. So you can feed a family of 4 for $7 for a plate of pasta.
That hits the spot. A TD survey found 2/3 of Canadians say they plan to slash their monthly budgets by up to $1,000 a month. 55% say they'll cut on eating out, 44% on attending concerts, sporting events, movies. Many plan other belt-tightening measures like cutting down on subscriptions and fewer retail purchases. But it seems younger Canadians appear set to make more sacrifices. A whopping 86% of Gen Z say they're preparing to slash their budget. Compare that to 43% of boomers.
They're leaning in more into their loyalty programs, into budgeting, and also into no spending challenges, which are becoming very popular with this younger generation.
McDonald's is vying to tap into the budget squeeze. The fast food chain is freezing the price of some menu items for a year. For instance, $5 for the Meg Value Trio. This, as a recent study found more than 4,000 restaurants could close this year. At Tony Bologna's, father and son say people still gotta eat, and they want to feed neighborhood families well.
So that's why we even have all the ingredients here at the low price that you could go home and do it yourself if you want to.
And we'll have to see just how long Canadians will be forced to stick to that resolution to cut back. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A public service worker in Ottawa is calling out the federal government's insurance plan after her daughter, who was chronically ill and battling cancer, was denied coverage. CTV's Katie Griffin reports.
8-year-old Lily Jewett is full of joy.
She is a happy kid. She loves Taylor Swift. She loves playing with her friends. She does Special Olympics.
She's also always hungry.
You want more popcorn? All day with Lily, she tells me that if she's hungry and she wants food, it's constant. It never ends.
Lily was diagnosed with a brain tumor when she was 4 months old. She's been through a number of surgeries with many complications, including a stroke, seizures, and vision loss. The most recent
ended up significantly damaging the part of her brain that controls her hormones, her appetite, her metabolism, her sleep.
It means that for her age and height, Lily is considered obese.
She definitely has the capacity to learn to walk, but the weight is a huge hindrance on that.
So a doctor prescribed weight loss drug Wegovy, but Mom Julie's health insurance plan with the federal government won't cover the cost because the drug isn't approved for use in kids under 12.
That's exceptionally disappointing for me and very worrisome about insurance being able to dictate treatment for kids.
In a statement, the Treasury Board of Canada Secretariat says the plan does not cover expenses for prescription drugs to treat a condition not recommended by the manufacturer, known as off-label use, or that do not meet Health Canada approved indications, even if a prescription from a medical health practitioner is submitted. A spokesperson with insurance company Canada Life says while it empathizes with all those who are facing difficult health challenges, the Government of Canada determines what is covered under their plan, and Canada Life must administer claims in compliance with it. Jewett has appealed the decision twice. 2 months ago, she wrote to the president of the Treasury Board Secretariat, but hasn't heard back. She says she's hoping the decision will be overturned using logic and compassion. For now, the Jewett family waits for another appeal decision.
It's not lost in us that there's not a high chance that she's going to outlive Jeff and I. and that we just want to give her the best quality of life that we can. And so waiting 4 years to see if we can get coverage and to see if this is going to help her feels exceptionally wrong and unfair.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets are looking as of today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is down 11/10 of a cent. The price of gold is down $12. Oil is down $2.80. Natural gas is down 1 cent. Aluminum is up $27.50. In Toronto, the TSX is up 112.45 points. The Venture Index is down 3.79. In New York, the Dow Jones is up 292.81, and the Nasdaq is up 58.27. Still ahead is a look at the struggles of the Canucks carrying over to 2026. Welcome back. We're 2 weeks into 2026 and the Canucks still haven't won a game this year. With the trade deadline looming shortly after the Olympic break, could the floundering team be looking to unload some veteran players and fully embrace a rebuild? Here's CTV's Craig Krause with this week's Ringside Report.
Artem Zub scores! Game after game after game. The Canucks are winless in their last 8, sitting last in the NHL.
What do you do to stay positive, Adam? To come? Well, it is what it is.
Injuries and a young roster. Some of the excuses being made.
This sucks. I hate losing. I don't know. I don't know. Messages, try do whatever to get the next win.
Just a few seasons ago, Elias Pettersson was one of the leaders on a Canucks team making a deep playoff run. Now, even his future with the team is in question.
Look, once Quinn Hughes moved, I think all bets are off. And when you're 32nd in the standings, you can't have any untouchables on your lineup.
This comes as Canucks management have changed their tune on how they're approaching the roster.
We are transitioning into a rebuild here, acquiring younger players through the draft.
A draft with plenty of blue-chip prospects, such as Sweden's Iver Stenberg, University of North Dakota's Keaton Verhoff, plus
Gavin McKenna. He's a Canadian winger from the Yukon. He plays his collegiate hockey at Penn State. He had a good World Juniors for Canada. He piled up a lot of points, but people look at him and see more of a soft perimeter winger.
A young prospect originally from Yukon who is no stranger to WHL fans. Now ranked the best player by many analysts.
But with the lottery system, there's no guarantee that the Canucks will have that first overall pick.
No, even if the Canucks finish dead last in the National Hockey League, they will have a greater than 50% chance of picking third overall. It will be a 25% chance of picking first overall.
June's draft is months away, and the Canucks still have the second half of the season ahead of them. The current road trip ends Thursday in Columbus before returning home to face off against the star-studded Edmonton Oilers on Saturday. Craig Krause, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's all of our news for now. From everyone at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cal Maslin, and thanks for watching. We will see you next time.